Welcome to the Redmen TV. Liverpool have just drawn at Crystal Palace at home. A very frustrating game for the Reds, to be honest. I'm still fuming about Darwin Nunez. I think that's the place to start at this moment in time, Chris. I am livid.
It has to be. Look, I didn't see it at the time, and I've just watched it on the phone there, and he turns around and he shoves his head into the other fella's head, and that's a sending off, and you can't let the emotions get the better of you. Like, they've been fouling him all game long, and that's part of their strategy, isn't it? You know what I mean? You lean in on him, you make it hard for him, you muscle him, you out-muscle him and stuff, and you try and frustrate him, and he's falling for it. And this will be a steep learning curve for him. It's stupid, of course it is, but he's going to learn now that he just can't rise to that bait, because it's clever by them. They've done that all game. It's just a systematic just beating of him until he turns around and does something.
Yeah, and I think it was clear from the moment it happened, everyone on the cop, there was just a thought of, you're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. We were all fuming on him at the time. I've looked back and it looks even worse than what it looked, and it was right in front of the cop, so we all saw. And I totally get that they're going to try and put one on you, but even from, it was just a tiny little shove. There's no need to react in that moment. And ultimately, he's not just cost us today, but in the upcoming weeks. We've got Manchester United on Monday night, and I'm already trying to think to that game, because this game's really done me head in. And they've got a 5'9" defender there who Diaz, I thought, would have had a lovely time against. Now he doesn't even get into that game. But without Diogo Jota, Roberto Firmino has to now show up. There is no way he can't. All because of that stupid incident.
But you've got to understand, he's a young player. It's his debut at Anfield and all that type of stuff. The emotions running high, the adrenaline's there. So I can totally understand how it's happened. And as I say, he's just got to learn from that. And it is stupid, and that's what happens sometimes during football games. Players make stupid decisions. You know, we've seen it time and time again over the years. That's a stupid decision, and let's hope that he just learns from that right now. Yes, it's cost us today, but let's not get down on him, you know what I mean, because we know what he can do. Like, I felt, to be honest with you, the problem first half for us, for Liverpool, was we started off first 15 minutes, I thought we were playing really
brilliant.
Good football.
It was wave after wave.
Quick attacking play, people moving around, movement was there, and then Crystal Palace sort of got a little bit of confidence, like, you know what, we can deal with this. And then all of a sudden they scored, breakaway goal, etc. Like, we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in a minute. But then once that goal went in, Liverpool just started lumping balls to Nunez over the top, whipping balls in, and Crystal Palace were there to eat that up today. 100%. And it wasn't until we got a man sent off that we started to play football again. Yeah,
I think that goal was really influential, because we were dominating up until that point. We were playing really well. Some of the balls were a bit lazy, I did think, from Trent's side especially. Some of them just weren't pinpoint. It was just, it couldn't get past the first man time and time again. And you could see the crowd getting a bit frustrated at it. Those 15 minutes we were brilliant at the start. We couldn't nick the goal. Darwin Nunez did hit the bar just before half time, but that goal changes it all, because Eze, I think it is, does two midfielders, and I've got no idea why. Fabinho, I've got to start there. The first two games of the season, he has not looked on it. He's not, and I don't want to be all negative, it's only the second game of the season, but there was a spell when he first came in, and he's had a couple of times like this where he can struggle in games, and it goes on for a while, and then he gets back to it, and he's really, really good again. But today, the ones, where we just see him sweep inside, get the tackle, get us away, the constant winning the ball back, I didn't see that from him today.
It was too slow throughout the entire midfield. You could say that of Harvey Elliott, you could say that of James Milner as well, certainly in that first half, post their goal. And that was the problem for me. And it wasn't until I think Harvey Elliott had a word with Klopp or something, because Harvey Elliott then towards the back end of that first half started moving out to that right hand side, tried to create little space. One of the things that I thought Crystal Palace did really well with Nathaniel Klein was literally letting man mark Luis Diaz. And that was difficult for Luis Diaz. He was never in any space and stuff like that. We were looking at Robbo getting on the overlap because Luis Diaz wasn't there, and Robbo, we know, he's not the best finisher in the world and all that type of stuff, but he was getting into those good areas. But they did a real number on Luis Diaz. They play a 5-4-1 essentially, and they make it really, really difficult, such to the point where Liverpool then have to start lumping balls in. When Liverpool start lumping balls in, we're not that good at it. No. Darwin Nunez is a big lad, but he's new. You need a perfect ball, and we weren't playing that well today, that we were going to get those perfect balls.
I mean, you've just mentioned Luis Diaz, not known for his finishing, but my word, did that go. Jamie Carragher's reaction, go and look at Jamie Carragher's reaction on Sky Sports. It was incredible. He hadn't done that at all throughout the game, and then he had one moment of brilliance, and the finish, the power on it is absolutely exceptional, and that shows you can try for 90 minutes to keep Darwin Nunez, even Sadio Mane, sadly he's gone, we obviously know Mo Salah and Luis Diaz, but they are going to have these moments of brilliance where you lapse your concentration or they're just too good, and he was. But yeah, that Darwin Nunez goal, what did it look like from your angle? From us?
Mate, Diaz, it was just
Diaz,
like, I thought he'd overdone it, to be honest with you. I thought he should have been passing the ball at that point. I'm thinking to me, I wasn't shouting it, like, you know what I mean, like pass or nothing like that, but I'm there thinking, you've taken a touch too many there, and then he just knocks it out that little bit further, and kind of reminded me of the Danny Ings goal at the weekend a little bit, you know, where he just knocks it out away from the defender, buys that yard of space, and then it's just a rocket. And one of those, like, from where I was sat anyway, and that stood in the cop, I should say, when something goes straight like that, you know you've hit it well, and it didn't seem to deviate at all. It was like a fucking scud missile. It just went straight into the net and stuff, and like then the reaction was unbelievable. But that Liverpool needed that after the Nunez thing, you know what I mean? He gets sent off and then the crowd get into it, 100%. And it was like we hadn't quite woken up into the season either. We had a good first 5 minutes, 10 minutes on as a crowd, and then it just sort of slowed down a little bit, didn't it? It just sort of slowed down a little bit then, didn't it? And then once we obviously had that sending off, the crowd got into it, and then and an angry, narky Anfield,
frustrated as well,
and frustrated Anfield is the best Anfield to be a part of, because you feel like you're having making an actual difference to what's going on the pitch. We had 10 men, and we were better than we were with 11.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, he moves Trent Alexander-Arnold, doesn't he, into like a forward role. I put on Twitter then, it was like a 3-2 Trent 3 at some points, because that's where he was playing, and he was getting forwards. You know, he had that one where he has that shot and it goes over, and it's a poor shot, to be honest with you. He should be coming across the goalkeeper there. But he doesn't. It's unfortunate. But once we got through that, we started to create stuff. We started to look better, and then, you know, I thought, you know, when Klopp made the changes, I thought they were really clever, because he brings Joe Gomez on, he was a bit faster than Nat Phillips, and he's able to cover that space where Trent's not there, basically. He brings Costas on because he knows how much running Andy Robertson's already done, and then it's Virgil, it's Gomez, it's Shimikas, Fabinho and Henderson, and Trent was just sort of playing in the middle for 15 minutes, and he looked really creative, looked like he was going to get on the end of things, didn't he?
What has just happened behind me?
I didn't even saw what happened.
I heard the connection in my ear. You mentioned Nat Phillips there. Someone clip that, please. You mentioned Nat Phillips there. Now, I thought he was doing really good up until the goal. And to be fair, the midfield has a bit of a nightmare, which doesn't help him out. But you can tell that he's not usually playing in our back four, because he didn't know whether to go or stay. And by the time he'd done the little up and down, he'd kept Zaha hard on, and he was in behind. We got lucky about 5 minutes earlier, to be honest, because he gets sucked into one in the middle of the park, right on the centre circle, doesn't he? Or on the centre spot, I should say. And that was the warning sign for me, because he just went a little bit too far, and there was a man offside, and, you know, Alisson made the save anyway from the offside shot. But then what happened is, obviously, Eze gets through the middle, and you can see Zaha on the shoulder, and just as he starts to step up, the ball's played. It was brilliant play. Like, it was really good, you've got to make a point as a defender where you have to step up. It was at that point that the midfielder decided to play the pass, and you're a little bit unlucky there. And once he's one-on-one, the finish is absolutely superb, to be fair to him. It's right into the bottom corner. Yeah, I'm going to mention another player, which is Harvey Elliott, because I thought he was one of our sparks, and I thought the midfield struggled today at times. We weren't quick enough, we've mentioned that. I think in possession we were very slow, but he was our best player in that midfield. Out of possession, we weren't up to speed, and we were getting caught on the counter. What did you think of Harvey Elliott? I do think he needs to start game in, game out now, as he made enough in that game to show himself, because I thought he had moments of brilliance, and it seemed like the Anfield crowd really loved him. But at the same time, was our balance there? Were we quick enough in every area? You've got to look at the midfield as a whole, I think, there, and with James Milner playing on one side and Harvey Elliott on the other, I don't think the balance was quite there today for me. You know, Harvey Elliott looked really good in those tight little spaces on the edge of the penalty area and stuff, but not really ever came from it for me. You know, when he got moved out a bit further to the, you know, get chalk on his boot, I'm sure Klopp told him to get chalk on his boot towards the back end of that first half. He looked much better, because before that it was just Trent and Mo, and then when you throw that extra body over there, it's easier for everybody, because there's an extra man there and stuff like that. I'll be honest, if I was rating Harvey, I'd have gone like a 7 out of 10. I don't think there was like, I never walked away from there going Harvey dominated that game, personally. Yeah. Well, I can see what you say. I think he was all right. I don't think our midfield did brilliant, to be honest. There's that point. I just thought if there was anything coming, it was going to be from Harvey Elliott. I think he has a chance in the first 15 minutes where someone cuts it back to him, and instead of hitting it, 3 people slide and he just goes around them, and he's very unlucky with that opportunity. First 15, I thought he was excellent. Then obviously they get a bit more about them. They keep the shape well enough. They've had enough of the absolute.
Was he best in the first half for you?
Yes, I think he was.
Okay,
personally.
my eyesight's shit and I can't see that far.
Oh, okay.
So this is probably why. So yeah, I'm back of the cop there. So like anything that's happened in that first half, mate, I've A, forgotten, and B, can't see.
Okay, fine. First 15, he was really good. He had an opportunity. I thought he was quite well. I thought Mo Salah was a bit silent today. I didn't think he was in the game enough. And to be fair,
one chance at the end, didn't he, where he hit it, and you're like on the edge of the area, and he caught it proper sweet, and you think, oof, I thought that was going in, to be honest.
I thought that was Carvalho.
Oh no, Carvalho had one as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Carvalho had one as well. But
he had one in the first half as well, where the ball gets put into him and he puts it past the post. You wouldn't have seen that because it's that far away.
Because he caught that with like the instep, didn't he? Where it was like, why have you gone for the near post there? I couldn't understand that one. I had my binoculars out for that one, to be honest.
Right, sounds. Well, oh, Mo Salah, love that. Hopefully he scores next game against Manchester United.
I heard this, I don't know, I've not fact checked this, but every season he scored that first goal in the first game, or a goal in the first game. He's never scored one in the second game, is what someone put on Twitter.
Does he score in the third?
I've no idea, I didn't check that.
Well, please, Salah, make that happen.
But I can't believe we're not talking about the ref yet, by the way, because he was dog shit tonight.
To be fair, with you right, yeah, he's shite. Our level of referees in this country is that bad that I've just had enough. Like, they're never held accountable for anything they do, so I really just don't even try. Like, I can't be arsed with them at this point. I don't think he was horrific.
There was a handball in the middle of the penalty area where the guy goes down and he's got his arm out like that and nothing stood, and then he gives a free kick, so it's taken dead quickly, so they can't go back and check it on VAR. I'm like, Tierney, I know you've lost a little bit of air and stuff, but I still recognise you and you're still shit.
Yeah, no, he was crap, to be fair. Mo Salah, you've got a massive fan base, you. The other point about him now was the time wasting. There is not a single referee who can get a grip of games when it comes to time wasting. But I've really had enough of talking about this game of football. We've got Manchester United next Monday, so do sign up to Redmen Plus, £5 and £10 every month. You get some unbelievable content, and you want to be joining right now because we play Manchester United at Old Trafford next Monday night, so come and get involved with the shows. You can even be on one of the shows yourself if you are a club legend, so yeah, do get involved, and until the next one, up the Reds.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want even more Redmen content in your lives, do go and check out Redmen Plus, our subscription service. All the content is available both in video and podcast form. We've got 2 tiers of subscriptions. We've got Club Captains, which get you all the content, and we've got the Club Legend tier as well, which gets you that content plus loads and loads of brilliant added bonuses, such as free merchandise. So yeah, head on over to redmenplus.com now.